Did you know that there used to be a public bathroom simulator game on Roblox, and that 2 YouTubers almost got the entire platform shut down? Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Rob. Today, you and I are going to be looking at the Roblox iceberg. We're going to be starting with the least controversial stuff, and then working our way down to the absolute horrors that hide beneath the surface. But we have to start somewhere, and we're starting with the tip: guests. I remember back in the day, when I used to log onto Roblox back in middle school, I never had to make an account. I never had to register an email. I could just sit there and choose which gender I wanted to appear as, and play as Roblox. Now, when you looked at the tab list and looked above people's heads, you saw the word guest, followed by a string of 3 to 4 numbers. Well, most of the time. There was always a big question of who is guest number 1? Who is guest 2? Who is guest 3? Well, all of this was totally random. It wasn't decided on how many guests had signed up in a given day or whatever. It just really was randomized whichever number string you would get. You might get guest 3268 or guest 666. And that leads us to our first topic, guest 666. There used to be Roblox theories going above everybody's heads, like, who is this guest? Is he tied to Satan? Is he the biggest hacker of all time? Well, all of that was obviously not true. It was all randomized, so there were multiple guest 666. And now I feel like I need to go to church and have some holy water. Anyway, going back to who guests were, they couldn't chat, they didn't get to pick their username, they really kind of got bullied. It's actually pretty sad. They couldn't see what people were saying about them, but they were definitely being made fun of. Maybe I see why they got removed. I remember playing some random Roblox RPG and coming back later that day and wondering where all my progress went. Well, like I said, guests couldn't chat, they couldn't interact with anybody, they couldn't do absolutely anything, and all progress was deleted as soon as you left the game. So, RIP all that work I had. Ticks. Back in my day, we used to be able to collect a currency called ticks. Now, this was kind of an interesting thing because it separated Roblox individuals, at least back in my elementary school. I remember having countless conversations with my friends back then of who had the most ticks. Now, the cool thing about ticks as compared to Robux is that you gained free ticks every single day, and it was an alternate payment method. So if you wanted to buy a brand new t-shirt on Roblox, it might be 5 Robux or 100 ticks. You get 10 ticks every day. In 10 days, you can get a free t-shirt. This was great for children whose parents would not let them spend money on the game. Until one day, ticks got totally removed. There was outrage. There's still a little bit of outrage to this day for those who remember it. Unfortunately, people were convinced that Roblox took this away to force people to spend money on the game, even though it was never really required in the first place. Ticks were temporarily brought back in the Roblox Classic event. I actually live streamed it on my channel a couple years ago, but they didn't work the same way, and it was only inside of a certain game, so nostalgia glasses off, it was actually pretty lame. Builders Club was the first paid membership on Roblox, similar to how Roblox Premium works. Unfortunately, when it was introduced, it started to make almost a class system, where if you didn't have Builders Club, you were looked at as a brokey. If you didn't have Turbo Builders Club, you were looked at as a loser, and if you didn't have the OBC, I can't even remember what it stands for, I think Outrageous Builders Club, well, if you had Outrageous Builders Club, you were the coolest kid around. Obviously, that led to bullying, and it was later changed to Roblox Premium for a one-size-fits-all situation. I remember the old Builders Club used to be a little bit costly. I'll put on screen how much they cost. Dang! There was also Builders Club only games. Now, this was a feature that would be later removed. It'd be later replaced by a game where you could spend Robux to get in, because I guess it looked bad from the outside of forcing players to spend money to play a certain game within the platform. I didn't like that either. /e free. On the topic of clothes in the Roblox marketplace, players used to comment on them. Yeah, they used to have comments. Below the certain item, you would see players comment the craziest thing. Now, obviously, this was meant for, yeah, this looks great, keep it up, or I just bought this, you have to get it. But obviously, kids weren't gonna comment that. In fact, it was actually filled with chainmail. Chainmail required users to hold their breath and repost this on 3 others to get it for free, or type /e free, almost like you're commanding the system to give you the item. Now, did this ever work? It did. Yeah, I'm kidding, it never worked. However, I know I fell victim to this a couple times. I remember typing E free, holding my breath, posting it on 3 different catalog items, and all of a sudden, I gave into the chainmail. I was a stupid teenager. I should comment though, /e free does not refer to any emote in game. In fact, this was only used on the marketplace. The Roblox forum. The Roblox forum was negative in almost every way. It was made as a way for Roblox users to connect over various topics, almost like the Wizard 101 forum and Minecraft forums. However, and just like any other unmoderated space, misinformation spread quickly. People often posed as Roblox admins, as you could really just name yourself whatever you want. There were sneaky ways to make your S's a 5, or make your O's a 0. There was actually one big event that happened with this. The Quackity raid. Quackity's a YouTuber with over 5 million subscribers, I think. Anyway, back when the forums were still around, admins and mods were very strict when interacting in the forums. At least they tried to be with the sheer number of people that would comment. Quackity planned to raid these forums, and 2 months later, after the whole thing fell apart, his account got banned, and he's in serious trouble with Roblox. Roblox. Cafe groups are very interesting in the sense that they normally took the idea of real working jobs and put them into Roblox, where you'd have to attend trainings, interview sessions, submit an application, and everything like a normal job does and work your way up the corporate ladder. I remember back when I was in elementary school and cafe groups were extremely popular in like my 5th grade, 6th grade year, I used to run into my parents' bedroom and say, guess who got a job at whatever, just like Trish and Austin and Allie. I remember there was one time that I was a Jedi, I was a barista, I was a Target employee, all in the same day's work, and now I barely have the energy to make a YouTube video. As I mentioned, the corporate ladder was very well made. There'd be like 16 to 18 different positions. Owner, co-owners, managers, shift managers, team leaders, I could go on and on and on. A lot of them still exist to this day. Level 2, the surface. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. I'm not giving you a math equation. That's actually a controversial Roblox subject. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 was thought to be the leader of an exploiting group on Roblox. This was a whole rumor. None of this was ever confirmed to be true. The account was actually made for lore, and the password was later leaked on X and it was terminated the same day. I wish I had more to speak on for this, but you kinda had to be there. Dynablox. Dynablox was the original name of Roblox. The Dynablox domain was registered in December 2003, meaning that it was actually going to be implemented. It looks just like Roblox. In fact, I actually have a clip from the official Dynablox Roblox group that show what Dynablox was going to look like. Tell me if you see any differences to modern day Roblox. I definitely do too. The Flamingo Fan Club. The Flamingo Fan Club is a group made by the YouTuber Flamingo. Now, if you don't know who Flamingo is, well, he has about 11 million subscribers on YouTube, and he posts very consistently. He's been making Roblox videos for the longest time. He's very popular, yet his tenure on YouTube has not been without any controversy. He used to have a YouTube channel called Albert Stuff, which was later deleted after he wanted to move the channel in a more family-friendly direction, which is kind of also fizzled out at this point. But the reason that I bring him up is, people on Roblox often believe that his viewers are one of the more toxic groups on Roblox. In fact, one of the first Roblox concerts was Lil Nas X. And if you were there for the Junkbox raid, well, let's get into that. When Roblox wanted to start moving away from their Lego-style avatars, they made Arthro. And Arthro looked like I wanted to Arthro up. It was terrible. And one of the characters that they introduced that you could play as was named as Junkbot. Flamingo wanted to host a raid into a Roblox game, and he chose the game called The Hood. Flamingo got almost 100,000 people to make their avatar Junkbot and raided a certain game, the same day as the Lil Nas X concert event. This destroyed the servers and totally messed up part of Lil Nas X's concert. There's a tweet that you'll see from a developer on screen right now that'll talk about not knowing exactly what a Junkbox raid was and how it totally messed up the Roblox system. I know you didn't ask for it, but my opinion on this is, I think the raid was fine, but I would have chosen any other day. This was a very big promotion for Roblox and would really make their platform look good. It was kind of a mess. Some games on the platform actually have it so that if you are in Flamingo Fan Club, you can't join, as they don't want you to troll. Flamingo is known for trolling certain games on Roblox, which is totally fine. However, the more serious roleplay games, they want to avoid that. So, if you're in Flamingo's fan club, there's a good chance that you're banned from almost 100 games on the platform. Scam follower bots. Have you ever seen one of your friends have an egregiously high amount of followers and they're not popular? Well, back in the day, there used to be a bunch of these fake scam Roblox bots, and what they would do is, they would mass follow almost everybody. Now, why did they exist? Well, no one really knows. They kind of came out of nowhere, and now some people have thousands of followers for deleted accounts. But Roblox never took those follower counts away, so I even have a couple Roblox connections that have thousands of followers that do absolutely nothing. Who's following them? Nobody! A few years ago, there'd be a lot of Roblox games that you'd see in a little chat box up above. I'll try to find a picture for you that says, go to this website to redeem some Robux. Now, unfortunately, I was one of the stupid kids that actually fell for it, and I almost gave away all my payment details. Robify's never been the smartest guy here. On the topic of scams, we have to talk about fake Robux generators. Now, I don't know if you remembered, but if you used to look up Roblox or free Robux or anything, there'd be tons of websites that would say, complete this small survey for as much Robux as you want. Unfortunately, they made their bag because accounts got stolen, kids gave away payment details from their parents, and it almost always gave the person that did it a virus on their computer. Got my gamer headset on because now we're getting to level 3, the shallow waters. This is where things start to get a little bit deeper, so if you're younger, you may want to click off the video. We're starting off with Meep City. For you guys who don't know what Meep City is, Meep City was a social hangout game made by Alex Neutron. It featured a lot of interesting activities. Players could fish, players could talk to each other, have houses, have little jobs, interact with almost everything. There were pets. It was a really kid-friendly game. I remember racing and everything. You could even change your character. However, there was an update that changed everything. A big problem on Roblox that we're going to start seeing a lot more for the rest of this video is something called age-blind interaction. And what age-blind interaction is, it's where two users can talk to each other, but neither knows the age of the other person. It leads to very scary things. And when Meep City introduced the Parties feature, a copied concept from Toontown Online, users began to capitalize off of this vulnerable feature. They created parties with bypassed names and sexual content. This feature would remain in Meep City until 2022, even after fans were begging Alex to take it down. Despite the previous controversies, he decided not to remove them until he had to. He instead attempted to fix them by removing beds, removing party names, and other controversial content. These features were slowly turned back on and are back today. The sad thing about this is there were a lot of scary things that happened. You could imagine what bypassing the chat filter and having household objects in a Roblox game could do for those that are predators. It's a scary thought what could have happened with bypassed chat, household items, and predators on a platform made for children. It's absolutely disgusting, and I don't know why it was okay. Well, it wasn't okay. I don't know why it was ever kept around. Next, we're gonna be talking about voice chat. Voice chat is also... I've always been a Roblox fan. I've been making content on the platform for over 12 years now, so I know my way around it. However, I can also recognize when a company makes a big mistake, and voice chat has done nothing for the platform but make it absolutely terrible. Now, I gotta remember, I'm not in politics class. This is not an opinion piece. I have to be factual. But if you can think of one benefit of voice chat, besides talking to people that you don't know, that talking on the phone can't, I'd like you to tell me. Because Roblox rolled out voice chat to a lot of users' surprise, but did not think about someone using their mom's ID or their dad's ID and just saying, "This is me." Now again, obviously that's illegal, wrong, and never is okay, but it's impossible to moderate that because you never know who's behind it. So what did they roll out a few months ago? Camera age checks, woohoo! Woohoo, no! And here's the problem with this. There has been countless videos on TikTok, on YouTube, people doing the age check verification, but saying that they're much younger or much older than they are. What's the problem with that? Well, we gotta talk more about chat, which is the next part of this, the text chat. Roblox recently had a huge update that made a lot of people mad, where you could only talk in a certain age range. I'll put the age ranges on the screen. Now, you might be thinking, this is great. This prevents people that are over 18 talking to minors, which, of course, I'm absolutely for, and anybody else with a brain should be. However, there is a serious problem with this. As I mentioned, with the age verification with the photo, the program frequently got things wrong. So if somebody didn't have any facial hair and had what people might call a baby face, they might only get to talk to people in their age group, which might have been estimated to be 13 to 15. Meaning that if they are over 18, they can't speak to people that are over 18, they're speaking to children. Now this is absolutely terrible. I'm lucky enough to when I verified my age on Roblox, it knew that I was 20 because I did it before this whole picture verification thing came into play. But for those that couldn't, there's no way to fix it. You can't go back and change your face. Also, with voice chat, it's impossible to moderate. You get a small warning and you get banned for maybe 5 minutes if you break that warning if you use inappropriate language, or maybe even voice chat banned for a day. There are very few ways to prevent bullying on the platform, and it's caused a lot of mental health concern and a big reason why I do not mess with Roblox anymore. The whole new TikTok experience and Roblox and everything like that has made the platform extremely toxic. You see things known as slenders, which are people dressed up in emo clothes that are generally teenagers thinking that they look cool. We all had an emo phase, but it's cringe, we can all admit that. Unfortunately though, voice chat has made bullying very common on the platform. I've considered multiple times making trolling videos for YouTube on Roblox, but I don't want to do it, A, because it's kind of weird. Now that I'm 20 years old, I don't want to spend my days trolling people on Roblox. I have better things to do. But second, people on there are just mean. You think that Roblox gets moderated, but it really doesn't. Which brings us into the next topic, reporting. The report system never works. Look, you can report somebody for saying terrible things to you or somebody else and try to stop online bullying, but unfortunately, that's never gonna happen because the Roblox moderation team are a bunch of losers. I don't know why the feature was ever implemented if it doesn't get any use. There's been quite a lot of people online. There's been a lot of discourse talking about the idea that Roblox moderation and Roblox report system is just in there to make the game look good because very little ever gets done. Now, I don't think that's entirely true. I believe I've even reported somebody before for saying terrible things on stream to another one of my viewers, and they did get taken away pretty soon, but I also think it was multiple people in my chat that reported at the same time. If it's a frequency-based system, that means that they're not looking into these problems. I also remember I got banned on Roblox during streaming earlier this month, and what happened was, when I was live streaming, there was somebody that was not in my chat that was in our game, and their name was Fat Something. One of my viewers and I were communicating with said person before the Roblox chat system went all X'd out, and Roblox thought we were calling them fat. We got banned. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and I had to stop my stream. Roblox moderation does nothing. Next up, we're gonna be talking about weird games. Now, I know we already talked about Meep City, but what about Public Bathroom Simulator? Yes, this was a real game. I wanna ask you something. If you are a normal person, is your first idea when you're like, I wanna be a Roblox developer, are you gonna look at the Rob NF Roblox Studio tutorials to learn how to become an excellent game developer? Well, a game developer? Or are you going to Public Bathroom Simulator? There's a lot of weird games on Roblox, this is absolutely no exception. In Public Bathroom Simulator, players could get points by staying within the game for a certain amount of time. This led them to buy items of their choosing. Now, I never played the game. This is coming from the wiki. Why did this exist? Who would not just look up a Robin F Studio tutorial and instead be like, you know that game with a bunch of kids on it? Let's put them in a public bathroom and let them go look at the opposite gender's showers and toilets. That's freaking weird and disgusting. In Public Bathroom Simulator, you could buy items. You could buy spray cans and mops and everything. But allegedly, according to various Reddit forums that I read, now that's not the most reliable source, but I'm not gonna check it for myself, that led to a lot of weird roleplay scenarios, and I can only imagine what those might be. Now, based on my understanding, according to the wiki, this game was deleted, but apparently a lot of versions still exist. And now we've reached level 4, the depths. Everything that I say in this portion, I'm saying it is all alleged, because I don't want to get sued. But we're starting off with David Baszucki, who I believe is one of the most disgusting CEOs in the entire world. David Baszucki wanted to introduce something new to Roblox. He wanted to turn Roblox into a dating platform. Now you're probably like, okay, as long as it's 18 and up, what's the problem there? Roblox is a game that was always meant for children. If you were okay with this, you're disgusting. According to Baszucki, this would allow users to go on dates with other users they've met in the metaverse, which could result in real life relationships. In an actual quote said by him, he says, "I think a lot of people who are afraid to go on real life dates might find it easier to have a virtual date to start, and then if they have to connect, move to the physical world. With a platform full of groomers and pedophiles, some of which have been kicked off of the platform based on ideas that he's said, what in the world makes you think that Roblox is gonna have a bunch of hot singles ready to mingle?" Yeah, I don't think so. Also talking about David Baszucki, we have to talk about Schlep. Now, if you know what this is about, this is pretty unfortunate. According to the Roblox wiki, Schlep was a Roblox-focused YouTuber known for conducting sting operations against sexual predators. He was permanently banned from Roblox due to his alleged violations of terms of service. Roblox actually sent him a cease and desist letter, threatening to take legal action against him if he resumed his activities. Now, of course, his fans and the Roblox community outraged. Fans wanted to know, including players, if this guy is taking people off of Roblox and getting them arrested, which he was showing proof of, that were grooming minors, why would we be trying to kick him off? Well, David seemed to think that it was all because he wasn't following Roblox's TOS. Well, shortly after his ban, the hashtag #FreeSchlep on Twitter really started to explode. Many popular content creators quit Roblox's content program, and other YouTubers like Gideon and Creekcraft denounced Roblox's actions as backwards and hypocritical. In an attempt to remedy things, in September 5th of 2025, Roblox CEO was interviewed by a CNBC journalist about child safety, and Baszucki stated that he plans to add new safety measures and contacted Schlep for feedback. Obviously, this was not good enough. Schlep responded and said that he wasn't really happy about the terms, but I'll let you go watch his videos. All that stuff's on his channel. It's not my content to milk. Alright, now let's talk lawsuits. Roblox has gotten sued multiple times. And of course, it's for disgusting reasons. According to Deadline.com, the headline reads, "Roblox hit with multi-million-dollar suit by LA County claiming gaming platform leaves children easy prey for pedophiles." Now, to protect myself legally, I'm not sure if I can comment on that, but what I can say is, I have unfortunately seen multiple times weirdos contact children off platform. In fact, when I was younger, I was also contacted by multiple people off platform. And that leads us to our next problem. Roblox Discords. Discord has very few safety options, and many Roblox games offer incentives and a community to join if you link your Roblox account to your Discord. Now, obviously, this makes the whole chat ban between age groups that we talked about earlier render pretty much useless, and it makes a lot of older people able to talk to those under 18. I don't necessarily want to get into any details that I don't have actual examples of, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our last topic, which is Roblox content creators. My god. Whether they make videos for the platform, games for the platform, shirts for the platform, or anything, there's bad eggs in every bunch. And Roblox content creation is absolutely no exception. I'm gonna keep this as informative as possible, as I want to leave any speculation completely in the dark. There was a content creator for Roblox named as Koneko Kitten. He was a prominent Roblox YouTuber, had a large, mostly young audience known for commentary-style Roblox content. He operated community spaces outside of Roblox like Discord and social media. In 2023, allegations surfaced online regarding inappropriate interactions involving him. These allegations spread wildly across social media and Roblox-related communities. He responded to these allegations, but then stopped uploading content and largely disappeared from the platform. All of this being said, there's drama behind every single fanbase, game, and piece of media out there, and this just happens to be Roblox's. What did I miss? Please let me know in the comment section below, and if you want to see a part 2, I'd totally make one. All that being said though, I hope all of you are safe, stay safe, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.